We have an update in the WNBA's Fever Fan investigation. Paige Beuckers shines despite another Dallas loss, and Dijonai Carrington finds herself in the middle of another eye poke controversy. You guys, there is so much to go over, so let's jump right in. What's up, you guys? I'm Rachel DeMita, and welcome to the Courtside Club. Today, I have another update video for you guys, and let's start out with the no update that I have for you in regards to the WNBA's Fever Fan investigation. Now, I made an entire video about this earlier on in the week. So essentially, during the Chicago Sky Indiana Fever game, there was allegedly fans making hateful and racist comments toward Angel Reese during that game. So the WNBA opened an entire investigation on the case. Now, a lot of us were speculating that nothing actually happened in the arena. We were speculating that the WNBA actually saw what some people were saying online on social media, and there were a couple clips that were circulating, and that is actually what the WNBA was investigating. Now, if you guys want to hear my full take on this, then watch the video that I put out on Monday on the entire situation. But it is now May 22nd. As I'm recording this. This is 4 full days after the WNBA announced that they were launching this investigation, and we have heard nothing from them. We don't know any evidence that they have found or anything that they didn't find. We still don't know what exactly they were opening up their investigation for. And I want to play for you a clip from an interview with Coach Tyler Marsh, who is the head coach of the Chicago Sky. And I'm going to start it with the question where they asked him when he found out about this investigation.
Coach, when did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that it's something that we heard about, and so again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do investigation-wise.
And just a quick follow-up on it, just because you coached in Indiana, did you ever have any issues with that while you were coaching there?
I think my focus was always on the team and on the organization and doing my job as best as I could. And so, that's kind of what it is.
So essentially, Coach Marsh is saying here that he didn't know about anything during the game. He found out about the investigation at the same time as all of us did. Now, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese were also asked about this, and honestly, you guys, we're just not getting any details from the people who were actually on the court, from the people who were at the game. Caitlin Clark basically said, this arena is really loud, so she didn't hear anything, but she doesn't know if anything was said, and the Indiana Fever are going along with the WNBA and helping them in the investigation. And then Angel Reese didn't really give anything specific of anything that was said to her, if she alerted anyone during the game. We are not getting details from any of the players, coaches, staff who are actually there in the arena. So with this, it kind of confirms my hypothesis that the WNBA was looking at stuff on social media and thought it was a good idea to open an investigation based on social media claims that didn't have any validity to them. And like we have talked about, the one audio clip that is going viral is actually something from a famous YouTuber. It is not someone in the crowd shouting animal noises. And with that, Christine Brennan tweeted this yesterday. She said, nearly 3 days after allegations of racist comments in the Sky Fever game, I'm being told that the WNBA has no timeline for completion of its investigation, and there will be no announcement, either if racist behavior occurred or it did not occur, until the review is completed. So she's saying here that there's no timeline for when we are going to get answers about this. But I do think that the WNBA needs to stand 10 toes down on this investigation, because just announcing that you're doing this investigation has opened such a huge can of worms across the WNBA. It's not a great way to kick off the season when basically the biggest storylines in all of this were that there were fans that were being hateful and racist towards the players. If you open an investigation like this, I am gonna stand on this. At some point in time, when you complete the investigation, we need to hear exactly what you were investigating, exactly what prompted you to open this investigation, what you found and what you didn't find, and what you're going to do moving forward. That's the most most ethical way to go about this, and the fans deserve to know, and the WNBA in general needs clarity on this, because if you are going to open investigations based on social media claims, then you might as well open an investigation after every single game, because social media is the wild, wild west. If you think that you're going to be able to police social media and that's a good way to just make sure that nobody's saying hateful things, good luck. Which brings me to something else that I wanted to share with you guys. So just last week, the WNBA announced their No Space for Hate platform for season-long community impact. Now, this is just their No Space for Hate campaign. They said they're just going to keep an eye on the fans, make sure that they have a safe environment for their players. But the thing I wanted to point out to you guys was this point in the press release. As a part of the comprehensive plan, the WNBA is rolling out an AI-powered technology solution to monitor social media activity in partnership with players and teams to help protect the community from online hate speech and harassment. The league will also be enforcing a newly enhanced and more accessible fan code of conduct, which will be made available on WNBA.com, the WNBA app, and WNBA social media channels. They're rolling out an AI-powered technology to monitor social media activity. If I'm just gonna be really blunt, I just don't see how this is gonna work. I get it in a sense of protecting players from stalking, active threats, but if you think that you're going to monitor and manage social media activity, you are putting your brain power and your resources in all the wrong places. And if I were one of these top players in the WNBA with the money that I'm making, have someone else run your social media pages if you don't want to see comments or different things coming through. The fact that the WNBA is putting together an AI-powered technology, it's a little overkill. And I'm sorry, I have to be so honest about this because I am somebody who comes from the video game world and the male sports world, the NBA world. And I actually think NBA Twitter is so much fun because people don't take things too seriously. But the things that are said on social media after fans' favorite teams lose a game, you can't monitor all of that. And the more the league grows, the more people are going to be talking about the WNBA on social media. I just think it's overkill. But again, it confirms what we were all suspecting is I think that this whole investigation was opened based on social media claims. And if it was, and they're going to use this AI technology, then buckle up because there is going to be literally an investigation every single week. So good luck to all of us. But let's talk about some good news. Paige Beuckers is doing great in her first 3 games in the WNBA. She is the fastest starter in WNBA history to reach 40 plus points and 20 plus assists in her first 3 games. And if you have watched Paige Beuckers play, I honestly have a really hard time watching the Dallas Wings because it's not good basketball. In these first 3 games, it has not been good basketball. We went live for Paige's first game. Paige is not somebody who is a selfish player. She is one of the most unselfish players in the league. She is so skilled. She can get the job done, but she is so wildly unselfish, and sometimes when she passes the ball, she will not get it back that possession. So I want to see Paige being as aggressive as she can possibly be, but as you can see here, her stat lines are pretty good. In her last game, 12 points, 10 assists. The game before that, 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. And in her first game, 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Now, the thing that worries me the most about this Dallas team is they are now 0 for 3 to start their season. I think they are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I don't see them making the playoffs, and I don't know who they have on their team who could be a solid veteran leader for this team when things start to crumble. They have a new coaching staff. They do not have a veteran coaching staff. They have Paige, who should be the key piece to their team. Like, the offense should run through her, but she's a rookie. So I don't see Paige going into a system like Dallas and being that vocal leader, the one that everyone goes to on that team. And so I wonder when stuff really starts hitting the fan, if Dallas continues to lose, who is going to be that player who steps up and make sure that they stay composed, stay together, and are able to turn around the season. Because I can see something with this Dallas team. It could be a snowball effect. The more they lose, the more they continue to lose if they don't have someone who can ground this team. Sorry, you guys, as I'm editing this video, I realized that we did not talk about Nafisa Collier, and she has been going off this season, and especially in that game against the Dallas Wings. She had 34 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, and she is averaging 28 points per game in just her first 3 games this season. Teams do not have an answer for her. She is already in my MVP discussions. You guys know I'm a huge fan of hers, but that is just a player to look out for this season. I feel like she has a chip on her shoulder after what happened in the finals last season, and she is really gunning for that championship. So we'll just have to see, but I wanted to bring that up because I couldn't talk about that Dallas Wings loss without talking about one of the biggest reasons why they did lose. Now, I did want to talk about something that is going quite viral from last night's game against the Minnesota Lynx, and it was this flagrant 1 foul that Dijonai Carrington committed on Jess Shepard. So if you guys watch the play here, it's a fast break layup. As you can see, Paige is going 1-on-2. She goes up to block Jess, and Dijonai comes in from the back, reaches over, going for the block. But as you see, when the play goes in slow motion, it seems like Dijonai kind of scratches her in the face once again. And if you guys remember, one of the biggest, craziest storylines from last season was the whole eye poke saga. Now, when I saw this, I actually saw this live because I was watching the Dallas game on my iPad, and then I had the Knicks Pacers game on the television. By the way, one of the craziest NBA playoff games I've ever seen in my life, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're Fever fans, you're also Indiana Pacer fans. What the hell was that? That was insane. That was the craziest ending to a game I think I have ever seen. But anyway, I was watching both at the same time. When I saw this play live, I said, oh, here we go again, because Dijonai Carrington has had so much spotlight on her for some of these really fiery plays, these flagrant fouls, and she is a spicy player. Like, there is no masking that. I kind of have the same reaction to this play like I did with the one with Caitlin Clark. I think this was an absolutely reckless play. Do I think she was trying to poke her in the eye or poke her in the face? No, I don't, but I think that this was super reckless, and I actually think it was reckless because she could have injured her own teammate in this situation. All of these women are going full steam ahead down the court. And Paige Beuckers, as you can see, she's going 1-on-2, but she had it covered. The one who endured the most physicality in this play was actually Paige. It wasn't Jess and it wasn't Dijonai. It was actually Paige. And so in that situation, I just think you have to be a little bit smarter in that situation. There wasn't a reason to go after the ball with that velocity. Now, I don't know if they have any history, if there was any frustration that Dijonai wanted to take out on Jess, but I don't think we should make this too much bigger than it needs to be. But I would just again say that the WNBA needs to continue to protect their players, because things like this can get out of hand and you do not want players getting injured with fouls like this. So luckily no one was injured in the moment. And speaking of technical fouls, Sony Citron got her first WNBA technical foul on this play right here, which is so much different than the one that we just watched with Dijonai. But as you guys can see, Sony Citron is coming off of a screen. She kind of works her arm around like this because it looked like they were kind of tied up, and then she walks past, and then the ref tees her up. Now, I don't know if something was said during that play. I don't actually know what happened, but I thought it was so funny that Sony gets her first tech, because she's a player, like, you can even watch after she gets the tech. She doesn't even really say anything. She just kind of shakes her head and walks off. This is so different than when you see a Caitlin Clark get a tech. Caitlin Clark crashes out and is about to get kicked every time she gets a tech. When other players get a tech, you normally see so much more emotion. So I actually just think it's funny when it's somebody like Sony Citron, because she's always just so stone cold, straight to business, just goes out there, plays basketball, like there's no extra noise. And she was teed up for this. But with that, she has been playing really well in her first 2 games in the WNBA. She had 15 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And then in her very first game in the WNBA, 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. She struggled a little bit last night against the Golden State Valkyries, but overall, Sony is looking great in the WNBA. And I even tweeted, like, dare I say, Sony Citron looks like she fits better in the WNBA even than she did in college. And lastly, you guys, before I let you go, I was so upset forget that Dominique Malonga is barely getting any playing time. So Dominique Malonga recently played against the Dallas Wings, and the WNBA was doing so much to hype up like the number 1 versus number 2 pick going up against one another. And Dominique played 1 minute. And there's a lot of discourse online where people are saying, oh, Dominique Malonga just needs more development. She's not ready to play big minutes in the WNBA yet. I call BS. Dominique will adapt if you give her that playing time. And you can even see here the 1 bucket that she did make against the Dallas Wings. You can see her fighting off 2 defenders, pulling the ball around, giving a little floater in the paint. Dominique Malonga is so different than so many traditional post players in the WNBA. I want to start a petition for Seattle to put her on the court. Give her some damn playing time. She will help your team. Seattle is struggling in the beginning of the season. They do not look good either. Put Dominique on the court. And that's all I have to say about that. But with that, you guys, that is all I have for today's video. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and click that little subscribe button because we upload new videos every single week. And I'll see you next time. Ooh, yeah.